Welcome to the Geeks and Creeks podcast, where we bring you the latest and greatest in the world of sports. We couldn't be more thrilled to kick off this exciting journey with all of you. In this podcast, we'll dive into everything from game recaps to news and hot takes. Whether you're a diehard fan or just someone looking to stay in the loop, there's something here for everyone. So grab your favorite team's jersey, settle in with some snacks, and let's get ready for an adrenaline-packed ride through the world of sports. All right, that is the crowds cheering not only for the NFL draft coming up, but also for the wrap-up of Wrestlemania coming as well.
Woohoo! Let's go.
All right, dude. I'm stoked for the draft. I cannot wait. It's going to be great. It's going to be so much fun wrapping it up and going and getting to watch it. We're going to be doing a live stream of it as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Actually, I don't know if we're going to be live streaming. We're going to be watching it, though. I don't think we're going to be live streaming, though.
If we do live stream, this is coming out after the live stream will happen anyway, so it's not like any of the listeners will be able to tune in.
Nope. But anyway, how was your guys' week this last week?
Busy as hell, man. My daughter had soccer tryouts, and then band practice, and then a band concert tonight, and for a 10-year-old, she has a very full schedule, and it is pretty much on me to drive her everywhere, which, alright, here I am, dad taxi, so, you guys know, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Right? The part is you can't even get paid for it.
Yeah.
Free ride, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'll tell you what, when they get in high school, it gets 10 times worse.
Yeah.
The dad tax becomes even more real at that point.
Yeah.
Because it's not just the kids, it's the kids and their friends.
I know, when I went to AEW Dynasty, I had to take Casey's friend with us, buy the ticket and everything. Pick them up, drive them, take them home. Good old times.
But you know what? It's also a blast, too, to see them hanging out with their friends and enjoying it and having a good time. So, 100% worth it.
Absolutely. Plus, it freed Skylar and I up to just hang out together, and the two of them did their own thing, and Skylar and I just got to watch the whole show together, which was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So, speaking of wrestling, last week we had the WWE Hall of Fame, in which the Triple H, Michelle McCool, and Lex Luger
with a G,
were inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. Natural disasters, which was Earthquake and Typhoon, were inducted as a group. And legacy picks Kamala, Dory Funk Sr., and Ivan Koloff, which made me feel super old that Ivan Koloff went in because I remember him wrestling.
I mean, I think I may have seen a match with Kamala or two on Saturday morning wrestling, because I feel like there was still Saturday morning wrestling when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We talked a little bit about it in our group chat, but I pretty let down by the Triple H era. The first thing he does is he sells the mat, which is just ridiculous. And then the next thing he does is he inducts himself into the Hall of Fame. Again, it's not like he's not already in there with Degeneration X. He's gotta kick a second ring the exact first chance he has to when he's running the business. And I know they're all he didn't know. And it's oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody, because this was a stupid idea.
Okay, DX, calm down.
It's so vain. It's I'm in charge now. I'm just going to put myself in the hall. Don't worry about it.
I mean, the thing is that at the same time, not a lot of people care that much about the WWE Hall of Fame because they don't even have a real Hall of Fame.
I know.
It might matter more if they had a physical building.
It's literally just guys making up trophies to give to themselves for a sport they made up and has a scripted outcome anyway. I get that. But, like, to a guy like me, there's certain things that are sacred, and, like, it's just a bad look inducting yourself in the first chance you get. You could have waited till next year. It would have been fine. But the first time you have a chance to, come on.
Maybe.
It's got this mental image of Roger Goodell inducting himself into the NFL
Right.
Hall of Fame.
Exactly. Like, that would be absolutely insane if that happened, right? Like,
The immortal moment that got inducted this year was WrestleMania 13, where Bret Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I actually remember this match. This was when I was really invested into wrestling. It was worrisome for a younger me.
This was back when wrestling actually mattered to people.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I don't know. I think it's making a comeback. It's definitely rising in popularity a lot. Even globally, locally, I think it is too, because I think traveling has given a bit of more of a rivalry for the crowds. And the crowds are coming out for it. I hope you don't mind. I'm just going to transition into WrestleMania weekend here because that was one of the things I wanted to talk about was, especially night 2, the crowd was terrible. Like, they were all right, but like the Cody Rhodes pops, the whoa-ohs, like you can usually hear the crowd over the music, over the fireworks. Like, they weren't there for it, and like. Yeah, they popped when they were supposed to pop, but I don't know if it was the stadium or if it was the Netflix, or not, I guess it's Peacock sound system, or what it was, but like, it really didn't feel like the crew was there the way they normally are. And then, I think it took away.
I mean, I didn't get a chance to watch WrestleMania this year. I was really super busy and just didn't get a chance to watch it. Could you hear him on night 1?
Night 1 was a little better, but
because I wonder if part of that is just honestly, I wonder if that's part of that if it's Vegas, because honestly Vegas is so draining, and I bet a lot of people were there for a good part of the week too.
Yeah,
Vegas is such a drain on the body and the mind that like by Sunday night on day two, they're probably just exhausted.
right.
I bet a lot of it because I went to Vegas back in 22 for Double or Nothing when they first went back to Vegas after COVID and after everything happened. They were back on the road and they had their first Double or Nothing back in Vegas for that week. And I'll be honest, we got in Tuesday and we went to Dynamite on Wednesday. We went to Rampage on Friday and then Double or Nothing on Sunday. And dude, I was exhausted by Sunday. Before the show even started, I was exhausted. Then after the 5.5 hour pay-per-view, really 6.5 hour pay-per-view after you count the pre-matches and everything else that went on, that 6.5 hour show, dude, I was done. Like, I was just physically and mentally done with wrestling after that point. Like, and then being in Vegas all that time on top of it, like, it's so draining. It may not have been necessarily them. I think Vegas, for that long a time, just wears you out.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm wondering if the 2-night format is a bad idea, and like they're pivoting into it. They're leaning into it. SummerSlam is going to start being 2 nights. I think there's another pay-per-view they're talking about that's going to be 2 nights.
I wouldn't be surprised if Survivor Series is 2 nights.
Yeah, something like that.
Like
but it's
like there are 4 big shows: a Rumble, Survivor Series, and WrestleMania.
Yeah,
and SummerSlam.
Right. And I kind of get it. They have a big roster. Like, they should be able to fill it out. But I mean, if you look at WrestleMania weekend, it kicked off with Stand and Deliver in NXT, and it killed it. I mean, I never miss a wrestling show, and I want to say that Stand and Deliver is probably the best pay-per-view of the year. I mean, it was absolutely insane. Ricky Saints versus Ethan Page, and you had Hank and Tank versus Fraxium. You had a ladder match for the Women's North American Championship. Like, no match on this card was bad. Dark State versus the D'Angelo family. Okay, that match was but at the same time, you had Stacks turning on the D'Angelo family. The whole thing blew up. Like, if you're paying attention to storyline, like, that was huge. The match kind of sucked, but the storyline was huge. And then the Fatal 4-Way with Stephanie Valkyr, Julia, Jordan Grace, and Jada Parker, like 4 of the best female wrestlers in the world, to be honest. Like, NXT has the best women's division on U.S. soil, period. And the second best only to Stardom, because you're obviously never going to beat Stardom. But, like, only to Stardom do they have the second best women's division. That match was insane. And then Obafemi, Trick Williams, and Javon Evans just tore the house down to end the show. The crowd was up for every single pop, and it was fantastic. And then night 1 was good, you know? Like, you moved into it, you had a whole bunch of matches, you had the big surprise, like, Jey Uso won, everyone lost their mind, like, that kind of thing. The Jade Cargill-Naomi match was fine. Jacob Fatu finally got a championship. That was great. But, like, it was kind of, you know, it had nothing, compared to Stand and Deliver, it was a step down. And then night 2 was honestly boring. And, like, the ending, John Cena won, yay. There was interference with the stupid rapper guy who literally took 8 minutes to get to the frickin' ring. He stood there for, like, 3. While Cody Rhodes is dead, John Cena's fanboying in the corner, just looking up the thing. He's like, hey, it's the rapper guy that I like. And then he took 5 minutes to walk to the ring after he took 3 minutes to just stand there. And it was like, oh my God. And then that interference still worked. That was the biggest problem of it. Like, Cody didn't recover in all of that time. It was still an interference that ended up losing Cody the match. Like, it was such a bad ending of WrestleMania. I've said it a million times. It's not WrestleMania unless The Undertaker sticks his tongue out. The Undertaker did not stick his tongue out. I don't know. But hey, Io Sky won the Women's World Championship, and that's the important thing. So here we are. That match was really good. Night 2, kickoff match. Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair for the championship. That match was damn good.
So the first match was good, and everything after it was awful.
Pretty much. I mean, either generic or bad. Those were your 2 options.
I mean, I don't know. It almost feels like they're trying to go for bigger and more shows when it's doing the opposite of what they want. It's getting boring.
Yeah.
And NXT's doing the opposite. They're going smaller, and it's better. Like, I don't understand why they don't see what's going on with this and how they don't see it. Like, I get it. You've got a bigger roster. You've got more stuff going on in the main roster, as you should, obviously. It's a bigger roster. But, like, NXT, I feel like, has been the better show than WWE for a long time now. And it's like, the crowd's more into it. It feels more like a wrestling show on NXT. It really does.
You know who did that? Who brought it to that level of being better than the main roster? Triple H. Yeah. Yeah, and now that he's in charge of the main roster, he can't get a handle of it. Like, what the hell? He's too busy inducting himself into the Hall of Fame and putting Prime logos everywhere.
Yeah,
sorry,
it's
what?
like Triple H built it. Triple H and Shawn Michaels built it to what it is now. Yeah. Shawn's still down there, and Triple H somehow can't. I don't know what's going. Maybe it's also because the main roster, the guys and the women have a bit more say in their stuff, whereas in NXT they might not.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I'm sure, obviously, main roster, it's like minor leagues to major leagues. You got a totally different system, and things are a lot different, a lot more moving parts, a lot more things are going on. But I don't know, it's 2 totally different worlds, and it just feels just kind of, when I have watched it and have watched things, it just feels just kind of just blah, and it's kind of meh.
Yeah.
And then at WrestleMania, they announced that the WWE has acquired the AAA Mexican Lucha Wrestling Association.
Yes. Let's not forget this.
That came out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. Did you guys watch this press release?
No, I did not.
So you've got this, like, table of, like, WWE executives and AAA executives, and behind them is just like a random assortment of, like, luchadors from the WWE and AAA wrestlers and people who have wrestled for AAA. And they have the owner of the AAA department, and she's just like this like severe, uptight looking, like fashionista, like think Devil's Wear Prada, like Meryl Streep's character from Devil's Wear Prada, but like painfully Mexican and in giant sunglasses, and she's just like she makes like no movement whatsoever, just like Botoxed stone face. And next to her is Triple H, and he's huge and he's all sweaty and he's bald and he's got this big beard, and it was just so crazy to see the two of them sitting next to each other. And I mean, this is a pretty big deal. I mean, they're acquiring AAA from Mexico. You know, classically WWE has never been a place I feel that luchadors go to be respected. There are a handful that they respect: Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, and Eddie Guerrero. But I think you've seen a lot of it in this new regime, and as much as I have been making fun of Paul, you know, he has been bringing in a lot more lucha talent. You know, Dominic Mysterio is risen to heights that I never saw him going to. I think this match, breaking away from Judgment Day, kind of solidified him as a real wrestler for me. I think we're hitting Dominic Prime now. You know, he brought back Carlito, you know, the whole LWO, the whole, Legado del Fantasma. You know, they're bringing in a lot more luchadors. So
Penta,
clearly Triple
Ray
H,
Phoenix,
Penta, yeah. So he clearly has his eye on luchadors, which I like. But I mean, to just see the WWE opening their doors like this, you know, they've been such a closed-off company for so long. And it's like they're working with TNA, you know, now they're buying AAA. You know, the Kingo was on WWE programming. They showed a clip of Rey Mysterio wrestling the Beast Mordos. Like, that means the Beast Mordos is now canonically in the WWE somewhere, which just makes me happy. You know, like, sure, it's just a stat in a record book because he wrestles for the other guy, but like, it makes me happy that happened one time and now it's in the WWE records. And I think it's pretty awesome. Plus, we don't have to pay tariffs on AAA wrestling anymore because now they're going to make it in the USA. Sorry, bad joke.
Yeah, I was when you were talking about the luchadors not being respected. I'm like, Triple H has done better with that, a lot better with as far as that goes, and same with Japanese wrestlers as well.
For sure.
At least with the women's wrestlers, they haven't brought as many of the men over yet.
Yeah,
I think they will. I just don't think they've gotten to that point right now.
With Okada and Takeshita being in AEW, I don't know if they will. That they want to go fight those guys. Like, every Japanese wrestler I see coming over here ends up in AEW, and they bring in a lot of male Japanese guys.
I mean, AEW does have a lot better relationship right now with New Japan.
Yeah.
I think that, although I think with Shinsuke having been in WWE and having a better relationship with Triple H, that'll help if guys do want to come over. I've heard rumors, I don't know if they're true, but I've heard rumors he might be going back to Japan, though, once his contract's up. Yeah.
Honestly, good. I'm not.
Because they really haven't done much of anything with him, even with Triple H being there. And I don't know if that's them not doing anything or if he just hasn't wanted to do a whole lot and has wanted to go back, maybe. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Like, we'll see. I mean, like I said, as far as Japanese wrestlers, as you know, Triple H has brought over a ton of Japanese women's wrestlers, though.
Yeah, for sure.
He's brought in Asuka, he's brought in Io Sky, he's brought in, he's brought them. It's really, I guess, to be fair, so he's been bringing them in.
Yeah. So
more than AEW has, which is surprising.
Yeah.
Because it's interesting that AEW hasn't been bringing the women wrestlers in when they touted themselves as bringing in the best women's division when they haven't been.
Yeah, their women's division is better than WWE's main roster women division, I would say. But, like, that's not saying much. Like, NXT is so much better in the women's division department. And that's what I watch for, you know. I prefer women's wrestling. I think there's less posturing. I think there's less ego. And there's a lot more... Well, there's not as much physicality because there's not as much strength, although that's starting to change. You know, there's a lot more flexibility and, like, high-flying maneuvers that they do that, like, the men, other than the luchas, the men don't do as much. Yeah. That's kind of why I like luchadors.
So how long till we see Chris Jericho crawl back to WWE now that they bought AAA?
Good. Take him. It'll give me a reason to stop watching WWE, because god damn it, I hate that man. Like, he needed to retire 10 years ago. And, like, all right, okay, and I don't want to get too much in the weeds here, but his beginning with AEW was good. And then when he went through the Inner Circle, that stuff was great. And all the stuff that he did through COVID was fine. But once he hit the JAS, he should have just retired at the end of that and moved on. It hasn't propelled anybody's career except his and Daniel Garcia. I'll give Daniel Garcia. But, like, he's not helping any new talent. He didn't help Big Bill? Fool of himself. Oh, my God, Big Bill. We'll see. Because that faction's just breaking up as we speak. So we'll see what happens to Big Bill. But I'm assuming, just like with the Inner Circle and just like the HAAS, Big Bill and Brian Keith are just going to disappear now that the faction is breaking up.
Man, it's been so long since I've consistently watched AEW that it's so hard to care anymore. It's so hard.
The thing is like, I complain about it, but I genuinely think it's the better show. Like, I do. It's got more wrestling. It's got better wrestling. It's got people who are in it for the prize money and people who are in it for the title, instead of, like, Liv Morgan is dating Dominic Mysterio, so she's got to steal him from Rhea Ripley and all that. And, like, yeah, that stuff's in there too, but it's not the only thing. Like, the only time the WWE ever cares about tournaments or anything is King of the Ring, and that's it. Like, even when they do a gauntlet match, it's usually because you've pissed off 5 people and all 5 of them want to fight you. Like, it's never just a sport. And, like, while I watch wrestling mostly for the pageantry and the pomp and circumstance, like, I also watch it for the sport. And AEW just has more wrestling on it.
Problem is when it comes to AEW, tournaments don't matter because they don't do anything with them.
Do now. I mean, the Continental Classic.
They finally fixed that?
Yeah, Continental
tournaments
Classic
actually mean something nowadays?
Yeah, the Continental Classic.
Because they didn't used to.
Title shot. The Owens for a title shot now. Yeah, that was kind of weird.
Because, like, when they first introduced the Owen Hart tournament, they're like, you won the Owen Hart tournament. Cool, what do I get? Nothing.
This pink belt that you can't defend and you won't carry after 2 weeks.
And we won't mention it ever again.
Ever again.
Because next year there's a new tournament that no one's going to care about. But so I mean, it's like, what does that even mean?
The matches are still killer, though. I mean...
but it's just a match. So, I mean, just because it's in a tournament doesn't make it mean anything. That's all I'm
good.
Getting at.
I mean, Mercedes Moné versus Athena was my match of the year for the women's division. That's in the Owen Hart tournament. Where else are you going to get that? Because, like, the only way you get
we got that in WWE.
No, you cannot compare Ember Moon to Athena, and you cannot compare Sasha Banks to Mercedes Moné. I'm sorry.
I can.
They're
the same person.
Completely different people. They're completely different people. You're talking about the Forever Champ versus the chick that couldn't get out of NXT, or 4 belts Moné versus Sasha Banks, who had to drop her tag belts on the boss's desk and march out of the company because she wasn't respected.
God. Isn't Athena stuck in Ring of Honor, which is the same thing?
She's also had the championship for like 4 years, dude.
She had the championship in NXT. What's the difference? It's still the minor league system.
Not this long. No, she's broken like every record in Ring of Honor's history books.
Congratulations,
with
you won the minor league
system
championship and you're holding the minor league record.
Dude, she's so much better. The WWE was holding her back so much, it's ridiculous. She's so good now.
You're fighting lesser talent. You even said it yourself. The NXT had the better women's division.
NXT has the better women's division now.
Now you got to qualify.
No.
Now
if we
you're
go back,
qualifying.
No, if we go back to Ember Moon, you still got, like, freaking Mandy Rose in that women's division. Like, you still have Chelsea Green in that women's division. Like, come on.
Chelsea Green wasn't wrestling in that women's division. She was already kicked out.
Yeah. But still, like, you don't have the division they have now. You didn't have Roxana Perez. Roxana Perez was like 16 when Ember
I think
Moon
she was just
wrestling.
coming in, actually. She had Cora Jade at that point.
Maybe Cora Jade.
I think Mandy was champ when Ember Moon was there.
You definitely didn't have Julia or Stephanie Valkyr or Zarya or Jordan
that was
Grace
way before them.
or Sol Ruka or Jada Palmer. Yeah, Jada Palmer.
Nah, you didn't have any of them. That was, because that was back in 21.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Was that really that early?
Yeah, back when we were doing our other show.
Dude, she must have gone straight to Ring of Honor and immediately won the belt.
She did. Yeah, I think she showed up in like a month after she got to Ring of Honor. She won the belt.
Yep.
Because she beat... who did she beat? I forget who it was.
Ring of Honor World Champion... I want to bet it was like, what's her name?
I think it was Serena Deeb.
No, not Serena Deeb.
No, yeah, you're right.
Nah. Can't think of her name.
I don't know.
Anyway.
I don't know. But speaking of on the path to championships, we're going to transition now over to our NBA Game of the Week.
Yeah, before we close out, Becky Lynch is awesome.
Yes. Agreed.
Fair enough. All right. So our game of the week from the NBA this last week was we had the Orlando Magic versus the Boston Celtics, and man, this was not a good one to pick.
Oh my!
That second quarter was great, though, man. Like
the first half was actually pretty good. Honestly, the first half actually wasn't terrible. That second half was bad.
Yeah,
it was bad. It was so bad.
I'm not gonna lie. I was working and watching this at the same time during the first quarter, and so I didn't watch too closely. The first quarter kind of went past me, but the second one was good. And then it was just like, I mean, Orlando just ran out of gas.
Yeah, pretty much. That was almost my exact notes. It's like at halftime, it's like Orlando poked the bear and then also ran out of gas at the same time.
Yeah. It's a perfect way to describe it.
Oh my god, that's great.
Like, I mean, because the whole first quarter, like, Orlando pretty much kept pace with Boston most of the whole first quarter until the bench came in, and the entire bench just doesn't know how to score, because Orlando's one of the lowest scoring teams in the league to begin with. So it's like you have a defensive-minded team with no one that can score the ball, except for Paolo and Franz. Like, those are the only two guys in the team that can score the ball consistently. Paolo's out there by himself trying to make something happen with a bunch of dudes that can barely make a layup.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's like, what's going on? And yeah, I mean, at halftime, Paolo had 19, was the leading scorer of this game. And like, that's the only reason Orlando's even close. That's the only reason. No one else can make a shot.
It's funny because it was like when they came back in the second, and they came back from being down 12, and I think they were up 6 going into halftime. And then it was like, I was like, you know what? This might actually be a game. Like, this would be great. And then they come out of the locker room at the half, and by like 3 minutes down, they're all of a sudden down by like 9 again. And it was just like, well, what happened? Like, you just disappeared.
And never got closer than 9. Like, the rest of the game, they were down by at least 9, if not more, the rest of the entire game. And I feel like at some point, Boston is, like, by the time the fourth quarter comes around, Boston's just kind of on cruise control, and they're just kind of like, we'll kind of go easy on you a little bit. And then they kind of get this, like, they get that older brother burst. They let him get closer, like, oh, you're almost there. Then they like, no, stop. And they just kind of keep swatting him away for a little while. They kind of let him catch up a little bit. Then they swat him away some more. And they kind of let him they were just playing with him at the end of the game.
Yeah.
And just like, I'm watching this, and I'm like, dude, Orlando really needs a center. Like, Wendell Carter sucks. Like, their center is absolutely terrible. Dude didn't score until, like, garbage time in the fourth quarter, until he finally decided to start scoring the ball. Like, yeah, he had 12 rebounds. That's cool. If my center can't score the ball at all, like, why are you even here, dude?
Yeah.
Like, at that point also, why didn't you put the backup in? Because Batadze is actually not too bad. And do something. Give somebody out there that can actually that's going to try. Like, there were some bad turnovers. Like, there was one, it was Caleb Houston had one where he tries to pass it, like, behind his head and just throws it away completely. And it's like, like, dude, you're a bench player. What are you doing?
Right, completely.
Get on the bench and go sit down.
Yeah.
It's like there's just some bad plays, and it's just like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm watching this, I'm like, this Orlando will be lucky to get one. This is probably going to be a 4-game series, and they're done. Like, Boston just needs to finish this series off in 4 and go home, man.
Right.
Just rest up for the next series, because
Right.
Boston plays the winner of the Knicks and Pistons, and I can see that one going like 6-7 games.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my note. My biggest note was at the second half, something happened, and the Magic just poked the bear, but also somehow ran the tank out of gas.
At the same time.
And that's what he even said. They were talking with. I watched the Boston, or they were talking with Drew Holiday at the halftime. Like, so what are the keys for the next half? I'm like, we need to come out and play more physical defense. And damn it, if they did.
Yeah.
They exactly
They sure
did that.
Yeah.
So,
I think I've decided that I like watching defense better than I like watching offense when it comes to basketball. Like, 3-point shots are cool. Cool-looking slam dunks are cool. But, like, most of the time, I don't really care that they're scoring. It's like a really awesome turnover, or like one of those crazy blocks where they come up behind him and swat the ball out of his hand. He's like, oh! Like, those are the best.
right? All right. Well, if we're going to be if you like watching defense, hopefully we'll have some pretty good defense in this next one. So, our next game is going to be the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they're playing Friday on the 26th. So it's going to be this coming Friday.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I think it's 26th. I got my date wrong, but they're playing Friday. 25th, sorry. Friday or Saturday. It's Friday or Saturday this week. I know they're playing a day or it's a couple days. The way the NBA puts their schedule up, it's kind of weird. But
yeah, it's Friday.
All right, so Friday the 26th.
All right.
And they are in Minnesota.
And they are currently tied 1 game apiece.
Hey, look at that.
I think this will be game 3, if I'm not mistaken. I think they're taking a little bit of a break. I was debating between this or the Rockets Golden State game is what I was debating between. Because the Rockets Golden State, I'm pretty sure, is also tied up at 1 game apiece right now as well.
Nice.
No, the Warriors are ahead 1-0, and it is currently 20-11 in the first quarter.
Oh, okay, they haven't played game 2 yet. Okay.
They're playing it right now.
I thought they already had, but yeah, that first game was like 95-85 with a lot more physical defense on both sides because these two teams hate each other, as we saw the last time we played.
But that segues nicely into the Geeks and Greeks news. Starting off, we have the NBA playoffs. In the West, you have the Thunders leading the Grizzlies 2-0. Game 3 is tomorrow or Thursday. Then you have Nuggets Clippers tied at 1. Game 3 is also tomorrow or Thursday. Timberwolves and Lakers tied at 1. Game 3 is on Friday. We'll recap Game 3 next time. Golden State lead the Rockets 1-0. Game 2 is currently about to wrap up the first quarter.
Oh, hey, look at that.
In the East, Cavaliers lead the Heat 2-0. Pacers lead the Bucks 2-0. Game 3 is on Friday. Go Pacers.
I really wanted to go to that game 1. I really, really wanted to go to game 1 because that was last Saturday down in Indy, and I was really, really tempted to go. And tickets weren't too bad either. I could have gotten lower bowl for like $250, $260. I was really, really tempted to go down for that game.
I'm really blown away by how reasonable Pacer ticket prices are, because we went down when Kobe was doing his victory lap, and they were not bad. They were like 20.
We were also like at the top of the arena, like literally had our backs to the wall at the top.
You don't tell people that part. You just say, I got to see Kobe play.
That's true. We did get to see Kobe play his last game in Indiana. We also had really, really crappy seats.
Hey, man, I went to the last game ever played at the Vet in Philly, and I snuck in, so I didn't get seats, and I was just standing in the hallway through the whole game. So at least you were better than that.
Fair enough.
But that moves us into the trivia section. Adam kind of wanted to take a quick swing in the trivia section.
All right, I've got one. This is going to be, I don't have a title for it, except for this is going to be the most touchdown combos in NFL history.
Combos.
So you've got to name the quarterback and wide receiver duos that have the most touchdowns in NFL history. I will say pretty much all of them are are 2000 or newer. There's only 2 that are older than that.
Is it career together or single season together?
Career.
Okay.
Peyton Manning, Harrison.
Number 1 with 114.
Whoop, whoop.
Manning, Marvin Harrison, number 1. All right.
Is Peyton on the list twice?
Take a guess. I don't know.
All right. Who would I expect? Does it have to be a wide receiver?
No, it does not. Just
So it could be like Tom Brady.
running back
and
could be a
Gronk.
tight end. It's just touchdown combos. So
Touchdown combos.
quarterback /
All right, let's say Peyton and Reggie Wayne.
there's another one.
Yeah, I knew it.
So they had 76.
Wow.
76.
All right, Pete, who you give me a
I mean, I was thinking Gronk and Tom Brady, but if okay, I was gonna
Yep,
say
that's a good one.
76.
They had 84.
Jesus Christ! Wow.
How about Tom Brady and Randy Moss?
No, they were not on the list. That is actually the only Tom Brady combo on here. So you've got 3 more. Only one of them is post 2000.
Post-tooth.
Yes. So you had 5 total. You had 6.
Okay.
You had 6. You've gotten 3. 1 more post 2000, and 2 are pre 2000.
What about
I got it. Joe Montana, Jerry Rice.
No.
What?
What about Troy Aikman and Michael Irving?
No.
Damn. What about Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith?
No.
Jesus.
Is Troy Aikman on this list at all?
Damn. Should I ask that question first?
I would ask if Joe Montana's on the list, but I can't think of anyone else he threw to besides Jerry Rice.
So Joe Montana is not on this list.
Okay.
However, Jerry
Good.
Rice is.
Ooh, Jerry Rice and
Oh, Steve Young.
There you go.
Young.
I
Wrong
I was
quarterback.
was going to say, no one else threw to it. Wait. Yeah, there was that other guy.
There was that other dude that was a little bit better.
I
All
think
right,
you just
so-
made Steve Young's day saying that he was a little bit better than Joe Montana.
I think Joe Montana is severely overrated, to be honest with you. With that, to me, Joe Montana is like the Brock Purdy, where he had just an all-star team around him.
Yeah.
All right, so you got 2 guys left. 1 pre-2000 and
One
one
post.
post-2000.
Matthew
Big-
Stafford and Calvin Johnson?
No way.
No.
No.
I would give it to Big Ben and Le'Veon Bell before I'd give it to them.
Incorrect. and
Yeah,
I
I
would
don't
give
think
you
they
a mark
played
in the wrong category.
Yeah, I don't think they played together long enough.
So it is the post-2000 is an NFC duo.
I'm going to feel really stupid if it's Deshaun Jackson and Donovan McNabb.
It is not.
All right, cool.
The post 2000 is an NFC team?
Yes.
See, Drew Brees didn't throw to anybody.
Who threw to Larry Fitzgerald? Matt Ryan?
Warner did.
Kurt Warner. But
Is it Kurt Warner and Fitzgerald?
It is not. Kurt Warner wasn't in Arizona that long.
No, that's true.
He was only there for a couple years. So this duo did win a Super Bowl together.
Joe Flacco and...
NFC. Baltimore's in the AFC.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
Is it Russell Wilson?
It is not. They are in the AFC. They're
NFC
South.
Oh, shit. I'm dead.
Yup.
Who's even...
Are you slinging some shit that it's Tom Brady and Gronk in Tampa?
It's not. No.
That would be funny.
Okay.
No, it's not Tom Brady and Gronk and
They're
Tampa.
all on the list twice.
That would be hilarious. No, Tom Brady was only on the list once, and it was for the Gronk that was already mentioned.
Oh my god, I'm blanking on his name. The Panthers quarterback.
Cam Newton.
Yeah, I think that's right. But who the hell did he throw to?
I have no idea who you would have thrown to. I only remember Cam Newton being on that team.
Is it Cam?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Did you say it wasn't Drew Brees, or did I just assume it wasn't Drew Brees?
You assumed it.
Is it Drew Brees?
It is Drew Brees.
Oh,
Who the hell did he throw to? There's nobody on the Saints.
He threw to a receiver. He threw to somebody because he's on the list.
Okay, I'm never gonna guess this one because
Marquise Colston.
I was so far off. I was thinking like Golden Tate.
Yeah,
I don't
it
even know
wasn't
Golden Tate was
Golden,
on the Saints.
But yeah, he was never on. He was never there.
That's where my brain was, though.
All right.
Yeah.
So now you just got the pre-2000s.
And did you give us any
The receiver is probably going to be difficult, but the quarterback you guys should at least get.
Is it Brett
This is a
Favre?
fairly notable quarterback.
Is it Brett Favre?
No.
Roger Staubach.
A little bit newer than Staubach.
A little bit newer than Staubach. Star.
Newer.
Newer. Who the hell?
He got drafted around the same time as Elway and all them in the 80s.
Oh, man, I'm screwed.
He is a Hall of Famer.
Oh, I'd assume. Dan Marino?
There you go.
Okay.
Now you got to figure out who Dan Marino threw it to, and that's
oh
going
my
to be
god.
And...
Yeah.
He's Dolphins? I have
Doug
no
Flutie?
idea.
No, not Doug Flutie.
Doug Flutie's a quarterback.
I know.
Dan Marino's thrown to 5'8" Doug Flutie.
I was trying to think of the kicker from the Ace Ventura movie, but for some reason, Doug Flutie was the name that came to mind.
Ray Finkel.
Ray Finkel, there it is, Ray Finkel.
It's,
I remember that fictional character's name.
That was the name I was trying to come up with.
No, Mark Clayton is the receiver for the Dolphins.
Yeah, I never would have gotten
Yeah, I
that.
never would have come up with them either.
Gun to my head, I would never have come up with that.
Yeah, no, me neither. So, but yeah, those are the top 6 most touchdown combos in the NFL history. Yeah, I was kind of shocked that Steve Young had beat out Joe Montana.
Yeah, me too.
So, but yeah, Brady and Gronk had 84 touchdowns together. I'm guessing that's also combined in Tampa.
Oh, for sure.
I also
yeah.
think they got that many in Tampa because Gronk had already retired once and came back.
Yeah, and he
And
wasn't that
Gronk
great
didn't do
when he
it
came back.
nearly as much in Tampa.
Yeah.
If I'd been thinking, I wouldn't have guessed Randy Moss because I know for a fact that Moss Brady is only like 53.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were only together for like 4 years?
Yeah, it was very short. It was,
But like those 4 years were insane.
and he never won a Super Bowl.
Like, that haunts, and he's even said that still haunts him. It's like that. In fact, that they were that good together and then never won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I still love that he comes out with that. I forget the guy's name. It's like Elmer something, but it's some random dude has 3 Super Bowl rings and Randy Moss doesn't have any.
He's so mad.
It's just proof it's better to be lucky than good. You know?
Yep.
Right? Just some random guy that shows up on the team 3 times to get a Super Bowl.
Of course, that's just Eli Manning's catchphrase.
Yeah.
Super lucky, and cash in all your chips at once against Tom Brady. But that moves us into a game called Two Truths and a Lie, Part 3.
All right.
I will make 3 statements about an NFL team. 2 of them are true, but 1 of them is a lie. If you can figure out which one is a lie, you gain a point. Whoever has the most points at the end of the night wins. And we start off with the San Francisco 49ers.
All right.
Our mascot, Prospector Pete, has not missed a single game since he began in 1994. One of our head coaches is credited for inventing the shotgun formation. And we hold the record for the most turnovers in a single season.
So, I know that all guys named Pete show up every day. So, we know the Prospector Pete's been there. Would you say 1994 or 1984?
1994.
I believe that. 1994 is not that long ago. I mean, I know it's 30 years ago, but it's not that long ago. It's not like you said like 40.
I don't know, man. Pete's pretty unreliable. Especially if Prospector Pete's been drinking. Get into that moonshine, it's hard to wake up the next morning.
And so, what was the second one?
One of our head coaches is credited for inventing the shotgun formation.
So, as in one of your head coaches, as in they head coached there and invented the shotgun formation there, or
Correct.
they invented the shotgun formation and just also happened to coach enters at some point in their career?
We'll say while they were coaching before.
Okay.
Tom's being shady.
I am going to think it's that one. Something in my head tells me the New York Jets are credited with inventing the shotgun formation. I don't know why. But when you said that one, it was like, no, that was the Jets. That's just where my brain is. I'm going to say that one.
The other one was the most turnovers in a season, where I feel like we've had something similar to that pop up in these different ones too. I know Bill Walsh was famous. I thought Bill Walsh was famous for bringing the West Coast offense. I don't know how much that involved the shotgun formation. I thought that was more of like fast, like kind of like check down throws more than anything else.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to go. You know what? I'm going to go with Prospector Pete has not shown up every day since 1994.
How can you root
I don't
against
believe
Pete?
that dude. I don't believe that dude's that reliable.
We hold the record for the most turnovers in a single season at 63 in 1978. And in 1960, our head coach, Red Hickey, invented the shotgun formation while he was the head coach of San Francisco.
Dude's name was Red Hickey.
His name was
come
Red
on
Hickey.
now. Like, that's just something that happens to you after prom. That's
I was
not
like,
a
get your
name.
mind out of the gutter.
It's probably where he came up with it, because he got the Red Hickey after prom, then
Right.
got the shotgun.
Exactly. Yeah.
But the lie is Prospector Pete is not even our mascot. Our mascot is Sourdough Sam.
What?
And
That's great.
Sourdough Sam?
yeah, I know. I saw that. I was like, that is ridiculous.
Does he look like the Pillsbury Doughboy and just a rip off of that?
I have no
This is
idea.
the San Francisco 49ers we're talking about, right? We're like,
Correct.
It's not some minor league team.
That's
Sam. Jesus.
The next team is the Baltimore Ravens. Our first draft pick ever was Ray Lewis in 1996. Our team's name comes from a public contest that received more than 33,000 votes. And finally, we hold the record for the longest field goal ever made.
Interesting.
I don't know if Ray Lewis was their first draft pick. I feel like it was either him or Ed Reed. It may have been him, though. I don't remember.
So I think the Ravens' name change was very likely because they used to be the Cleveland Browns. They moved to Baltimore, changed their name to the Ravens. We all know that story. It was my understanding that the Ravens knew they were going to draft Ray Lewis before they even knew what color they were going to make the team. And Ray Lewis's favorite color happens to be purple. I believe that Ray Lewis was their first draft pick. I don't know all of that to be true, but it's at least in the rumor mill in my head, the lore of the Baltimore Ravens. So I'm going to go with the record for the longest field goal being the lie.
That's right, because I think it was at Denver, because Elam had it, then Prater broke it, I think at Denver again. I don't think Tucker broke it. Oh, man. Yeah. I'm gonna go with the same, that the record wasn't broken, the longest field goal wasn't broken there.
Our team's name came from a public contest that received 33,288 votes.
Wow.
It's quite impressive.
Yeah.
We also hold the record for the longest field goal ever made, achieved by Justin Tucker in 2021.
Tucker did break it.
Wow.
In 66 yards.
Jesus.
Unfortunately, our first draft pick was not Ray Lewis. He was our second draft pick. It was the first round, though, but Jonathan Ogden was drafted number 4 and was our first draft pick.
I don't even know who he is.
He was an offensive tackle.
That makes sense.
Next, we have the Chicago Bears.
Boo.
We played at Wrigley Field for 50 years. In the Super Bowl era, we have only had one quarterback to throw for more than 4,000 yards in a single season. And finally, we hold the record for the most sacks in a single season.
Okay, so question.
Answer?
By saying one quarterback throw for more than 4,000 yards, do you mean he only did it one time? Or do you mean maybe he had a 10-year career and he threw for 4,000 yards 8 years out of that 10-year career, but he's the only one that ever did it?
We had one quarterback who in one season threw for 4,000 yards. That's it.
I mean, who's a Bears quarterback other than Jay Cutler?
Grossman. He lost to the Colts in 06. That's what I got off the top of my head.
Yeah, like, honestly, like, the Bears have notoriously been, like, one of the worst franchises for quarterbacks in league history.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I believe that's probably true. The problem is like, Soldier Field's also, like, the oldest stadium left in the NFL minus Lambeau Field at this point.
Okay.
So it's like, they've been at Soldier, well, now that they're getting a new stadium, but, like, they've been at Soldier Field forever. So it's like, when would they have played at Wrigley?
For 50 years.
Yeah. Like, I don't think they played at Wrigley Field for 50 years either. So it's like, I can see both of those being true. Like, I can't see... No, yeah, I'm pretty sure, yeah, they had... Cutler's the one that's thrown for 4,000 yards. I'm going with that one. Because Caleb didn't do it. No one else has done it. I'm pretty sure Cutler's the one that did. So I'm going with Cutler. They've only had one quarterback throw for 4,000 yards.
No, it wasn't supposed to be a lie. We're trying to find the lie, not the truth. I think that's true. Cutler's the only one that's ever thrown for 4,000 yards. I think it's the stadium, right? So
Yeah.
I feel like they didn't play in Wrigley Field because I feel like I wouldn't. 50 years, I would have known about it.
Yeah, they did not play in Wrigley Field for 50 years.
I just feel like I would have known about it. I don't know why. Like, not that I have any particular links to Chicago. I mean, I know my sister married a guy from Chicago, but like, I don't hang out with them all that often. We don't sit around and talk Chicago sports. But I did live in Indiana for 7 years, and I feel like this would have come up.
I'm pretty sure the Cubs are way too particular about that field to let the Bears play in it for 50 years.
Yeah, and like, can you imagine the Green Monster like at a football game? Like, where would that even be?
It wasn't the Green. That's not the Green Monster. That's Boston.
Oh, that's Boston.
The Cubs have the ivy all over the outfield wall.
Wait, the ivy on the outfield wall is not the Green Monster?
No, that's the Green Monster. Is just a giant green wall that's like 40 feet high.
Hey, I like baseball, people.
Don't feel bad, Pete. I've made that same mistake.
Yeah, no, that's the ivy on the field on the wall. It's just a brick wall with ivy all over it. That's all it is.
Yeah, but
out
like
in Wrigley Field.
Where would that have been in a football game? Like in an end zone? Like,
yeah,
no, I don't think that happened.
So you're both going with Wrigley Field?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. We hold the record for the most sacks in a single season at 72, set in 1984. We also did play in Wrigley Field for 50 years between 1921 and 1970. We unfortunately have never had a quarterback that hit 4,000 yards in a single season.
I could have sworn Cutler hit that once.
The closest we've ever had is Eric Kramer in 1995 hit 3,800.
That's the closest?
That's the closest.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, it's pretty close.
Yeah, but that's 1995. Like, with as pass-heavy as the league has become since then, you haven't even sniffed 3,800?
I mean, look at the quarterbacks they've had, man. Like Mitch Trubisky.
Freaking Jay Cutler. This, like, blowing my mind a little bit, because, like, back when I was heavy into fantasy football, I would have assumed Jay Cutler was putting up 4,000 yards every season. Like,
you would be wrong. I guess so was I.
Next, we come to the Los Angeles Rams, who say, we are the first team to add an insignia to our helmets. We hold the record for the most drafted players from a single college in the Super Bowl era. And we hold the record for the most first downs in a single season.
That's just a weird stat.
It is a weird stat,
really,
isn't it?
Really oddly specific stat, too.
Yeah.
Most first down. I mean, I guess to be fair, most sacks, too, would be oddly specific.
Well, not really. Sacks are kind of recorded the way, like, receptions are.
Most drafted college players?
From a single
college.
Oh, from a single college. Okay, that makes more sense. And first insignia. I could see the insignia with the Ram logo. That makes sense.
Does it? How long have the Rams been around? Were they a founding team?
They were like in the 50s, I think. So they've been around for a while.
And like, I can't think of uniforms past the 60s, and like even 70s is pushing it.
Yeah,
so
that's fair.
Everyone had an insignia on by the 70s. What was the other one? So we had the first downs, we had the insignia, and we had
most players from the same college.
Most players from the same college.
If they're out in LA and if they're playing, if they're been around since the 50s and all that, drafting guys from like UCLA and all that, getting a lot of West Coast players because they're scouting them when other people aren't. I don't know. I'm gonna go with the insignia.
I'm gonna go with the college.
We hold the record for the most drafted players from a single college, and Adam was right. It is UCLA with 25 people.
Wow.
Also, we are the first team to have an insignia on our helmets because a ram horn is real easy to draw.
We're both wrong.
But unfortunately, we do not hold the record for the most first downs in a single season. I straight up stole this from the Patriots in 2012 with 444.
Wow. All right.
And finally, for our last team of the evening, we have the Minnesota Vikings, who say, we are the only team in the NFL to draft a pure kick returner in the Super Bowl era. So none of that hybrid bullshit. We lost 4 of the first 11 Super Bowls and have not returned since. And finally, we hold the record for the most points overcome to win a game.
For the first 11 Super Bowls. That's a lot.
I know, right?
That's almost half.
Yeah, but I'm going to go with that's the lie, because I'm pretty sure they haven't been to 4 Super Bowls.
So the other thing we got is...
Overcome the most points to win a game. And they drafted the only pure kick return, which means he did nothing else but return kicks.
And then the only team to have done it.
I don't think they've been to 4 Super Bowls, so I'm going to go with that's the lie.
I feel like you're right, but I don't have any points yet, and I know you have a point, so I'm going to pick differently. And I am going to... What was the third one?
We hold the record for the most points overcome to win a game.
Most points overcome to win a game. Now, they'll probably have that. So I'm going to go with the... You went with the 4 Super Bowls. I'm going to go with the drafting of a pure kick returner.
Wait. I'm going to change it real quick. No, They did not overcome the most points. That's the lie.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Final answers?
Final answer.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with mine.
All right. We lost 4 of the first 11 Super Bowls, having lost in 69, 73, 74, and 76.
Wow.
And have not returned since.
Wow.
We also hold the record for the most points overcome to win a game against the Indianapolis Colts, who had us down 0-33, and we overcome it to win 39-36.
Damn.
Come on, Colts, you're better than that.
Clearly not.
In 2022 of all time.
Wow. You can't even push that off on Baltimore.
No, I can't. It was awful. But we are not the only team in the NFL to draft a pure kick returner in the Super Bowl era, because it's never happened.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Why would it ever happen? Only Tom likes pure kick returners.
Every kick returner has ever either gone undrafted or been something else and then became a kick returner later. No pure kick returner has ever been drafted. But with a final score of 1-1, you guys are tied.
Way to pull it out, Pete. Either way, I would have lost it. No, I swear, because I forgot that they did that recently, because I remember at the last minute, the Colts came back in that bullshit Monday night game down from Tampa back in like the early 2000s. They came back from being down like 21 or 24 in like the second half and beat the Buccaneers because they called some stupid... It was like a bullshit call in the field goal where they called him for, like, when they went to kick a field goal and he jumped to block it and they called some illegal formation or illegal penalty or something. I forget how the rule was stated, but, like, I don't know. It was some ridiculous thing, because it was, like, the last second play to win the game, and he missed it, but because of the penalty, he got to re-kick it, and he made the second one, and Vanderjagt had a perfect season that year, and he wouldn't have had he missed had the first one counted. They said that he crossed the line or something, and when he actually jumped straight up and down, I don't know. I forget what it was. It was a bullshit call. That sounds like Vanderjagt. Yeah. Well, no, I mean, he ended up getting the call for it, so it wasn't... he made out. But, yeah, I thought it was that one, because at the time, that was the largest deficit ever overcame until... That
2022.
One. So I forgot about that one. But all right. I think that's the second time we've tied on this one. Or no, that's the first time we've tied. You beat me the other 2 times.
Yeah.
So
that's what I need, man. Multiple choice, and then I can be in the game.
Gotta love Two Truths and a Lie.
Yeah.
All right, I think that about wraps us up for this week, though. Any final thoughts on this week? Parting words of wisdom?
Watch indie wrestling. It's better.
Well, on a contrary note, congratulations to Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyrie for winning the Women's Tag Team Championship.
Lyra Valkyria. Not Lyra Valkyrie. Lyra Valkyria.
Look, Becky Lynch
My daughter's
is
favorite wrestler, dude.
Becky Lynch, her favorite wrestler needs to be Becky Lynch.
Probably would be if she showed up more than once every couple of years.
She's 10. Becky Lynch has been gone most of the time she's watched wrestling.
Damn kids.
Not knowing what's good for them.
No, it's been Becky having kids.
She watches us on shorts. You know she's going to see this.
She probably, if this gets turned into a short, we'll see what happens. And on a non-wrestling note, don't forget about the draft coming up here in the next day or so.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right, I can't wait. That's going to be it for us, folks. Thanks so much for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode of the Geeks and Greeks podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and Amazon. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and X at Geeks and Greeks on all three. Don't forget to reach us at email geeksandgreeks360. Until next time, may the coin toss of life ever be in your favor. Later.
See ya.
Peace.